What's going on Phase Crew? Tonight I'm at a little cafe next to one of my favorite theaters, and it seemed like an appropriate setting for an impromptu video. So I actually just saw this today. It's the New York Times 100 Best Movies of the 21st Century list. And I looked at the first 10, 12 of them, and I right off the bat disagreed with some of them, and a couple on there that I saw I was like, oh yeah, absolutely, 100%, no-brainers, those are fantastic. But I haven't gone through the whole 100 list yet, and I wanted to do that with you guys right now. So yeah, I've got the list pulled up right here. Let's dive into it. Let's see what they got. And like I said, I've only seen like a dozen of them from the list, so a lot of these are going to be a surprise to me. So let's go. Number one on the list. Oh, actually, I think I should start with 100. Let's start with 100 and work our way down. How about that? How about that? All right, we're going to the very end. 100, working our way down to 1. All right, number 100, Superbad from 2007. Yeah, you know, it was fun. It was fun in its day, definitely. I mean, Superbad was definitely a phenomenon for its time. You know what I mean? I love Michael Cera. Jonah Hill's all right, you know? Yeah, it was good. It was good. I'd say that's deserved, definitely. It's not my favorite by any means, but in 2007, I think like most people, it was a blast. So, okay, I'm okay with that one. Yeah, this is on IMDb as well. It's IMDb showing the New York Times 100 Best list, and that one has a 7.6 star rating. All right, number 99, Memories of Murder. No idea what that is, a Korean film. 2003. Don't know. Can't really weigh in on it. 98, Grizzly Man. Never seen it. Is it any good? Let me know. I've heard about it, though. It says a devastating and heart-rending take, or I think they mean heart-wrenching take, on grizzly bear activist Timothy Treadwell, who were killed, and Amy Huguenard, who were killed on October of 2003 while living among grizzly bears in Alaska. Spoiler alert. Yeah, never seen it. 97, Gravity. 2013, Dr. Ryan Stone, an engineer on her first space mission, and Matt Kowalski, that was the Sandra Bullock, George Clooney one, where George Clooney, spoiler alert, died like way too willingly. Gravity was good. I mean, it was visually impressive, you know, it was something to see on the big screen for sure, but I wasn't blown away by it. I didn't think it was worthy of all the awards that it got. It was good. It was a good movie, but it didn't blow me away. I liked Arrival much more. Is it worthy of the 97 spot? I mean, considering the last 25 years, I'd say yeah. Like I said, it wasn't really my favorite by any means. It was decent, but yeah, I think it was impactful. All right, we'll give it 97. That's fine. It was all right. 96, Black Panther. Never seen it all the way through. I watched like half of it on Netflix and fell asleep. R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman, you know, that sucks. Seemed like a talented actor, gone too soon. But never got into Black Panther. So yeah, 96, I guess that's okay. A lot of those Marvel movies, though, like, honestly, after the first Avengers, I kind of checked out on a lot of those. So I don't really care. But yeah, whatever, 96, we'll give it to him, that's fine. 95, The Worst Person in the World, 2021. More like worst movie in the world. Never seen it. Don't care. 94, Minority Report. I can absolutely agree with that. Some crews. We definitely better have a lot of crews on this list. 2002, Minority Report. I think that was a Spielberg movie. John works with the pre-crime police, which stops crimes before they take place. Yeah, that was Cruise, and I think Colin Farrell was in there too, if I remember right. Yeah, I'm totally fine with that making the list. That was a solid movie. I haven't watched it in probably like 10 or 12 years, but yeah, it was a good one. 93, Michael Clayton. Never saw it. I know that was George Clooney as like a fixer, some kind of like law drama. Never watched it. Gladiator, 92, 100%. I think that should be higher on the list. I think that should be in the top like 20. Haven't watched it in quite a few years, but I remember when I was younger, I don't know what the hell that was. Oh, somebody threw a Harkins cup. All right. Okay. Exciting stuff. Yeah. Gladiator should absolutely be in the top 20, I think. That movie was a masterpiece. Like I said, haven't seen it in quite a few years, but I remember it being just so visually spectacular and so epic and so violent, and Russell Crowe is a boss, and I think Ridley Scott directed that one. Just, yeah, a masterpiece. So totally deserves to be on this list. I think it should be higher on this list, actually. And that was 2000 when that came out. Fish Tank, 2009. Never seen it. Let me know. Also, because probably like half of these I'm going to say I've never seen them. So if there's one that I gloss over that you guys saw that you really like, let me know. Drop it in the comments. Say, hey, give that one a chance. Number 90, Frances Ha, 2012. A New York woman apprentices for a dance company and throws herself headlong into her dreams, even as the possibility of realizing them dwindles. Director Noah Baumbach. Greta Gerwig. Who gives a shit? All right. 89, Interstellar. All right, this is going to blow your guys' minds. I've never seen Interstellar all the way through. I know, it's crazy. It's crazy, I know. I like the cast. I like Chris Nolan, although I do think some of his stuff kind of drags on a little bit, but I obviously respect the guy. He's a genius, made some really great stuff. Loved what he did with Batman. Bradley Cooper's awesome. Or I'm sorry, McConaughey, one of those guys. But yeah, I went to go see it probably about like 3 or 4 months ago when they brought it back to theaters. And I was at an AMC theater. This is a Harkins behind me. I was at an AMC theater, which is much worse. And I went to go see it. It was like this anniversary showing, and I was really excited. I'm like, oh, I've heard so many things about this movie. It's been so hyped up for so long. And I went in to see it, and the air conditioning was broken in the theater, so it was hotter than shit. And then they wouldn't turn the lights off as well, which I thought was kind of weird. And that's happened a few times at the theater. So I just couldn't get into the movie. I was sweating my ass off, and I was like, yeah, I'd rather watch it at home, I guess. As cool as it would have been to see it on the big screen, because I know it's supposed to be this beautiful, amazing movie. But yeah, did not watch it. I actually watched the first like 15 minutes and then walked out and got a refund because, yeah, it was too damn hot in the theater. So Interstellar, obviously, I'm sure it's awesome. I think it definitely deserves to be on this list because I know, you see memes of it every day, right? So, yeah, cool. I'm totally fine with that. 88, The Gleaners and I. Sounds like a stupid title. I'm going to guess probably like a Norwegian film. Director, Agnes Varda. Stars Francois Wertheimer and Agnes Varda. Yeah, some foreign film, probably overrated. Never heard of it. 87, The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. I'm surprised this isn't higher on the list. I think those Lord of the Rings films are just so unique and so impactful. And I actually haven't watched them all the way through in years. Like, it's been like over 10 years since I've seen them all. But I remember them being so visually impressive, and I know they were just so groundbreaking for their time. And I actually saw they're coming back to theaters soon, so I would like to watch them again with kind of fresh eyes on the big screen. I think that would be really cool. Because when I did watch them, they were like the extended cuts on DVD when I was younger. And yeah, they were awesome though. They were really good. Peter Jackson, brilliant. So yeah, like I think those should be in the top 30 at least. But yeah, Fellowship of the Ring, 2001, well deserved. Definitely due for a refresher on that though. 86, Past Lives, 2023. No clue. Nora and Hae Sung, two deeply connected childhood friends, are wrested apart after Nora's family immigrates from South Korea. A lot of Korean movies on here. Seems like a lot of the film snobs like Korean movies. Whether they're good or bad, I think it's like kind of a requirement for film snobs to be like, oh, it's Korean, it's got to be good. Not to say that there aren't good Korean movies out there, but it seems like they kind of, put them on a pedestal and jerk off to them a lot, But I'm sure there's good Korean movies, But Past Lives, never seen it. 85, Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy, 110%, one of the best comedies ever. That was 2004. Dang, that was 21 years ago. 70s, an Anchorman stint as San Diego's top-rated newsreader is challenged when an ambitious newswoman becomes his co-anchor. Directed by Adam McKay, stars Will Ferrell, Christina Applegate, Steve Carell, Paul Rudd, of course. Love that movie. That's a 10 out of 10 for me. Totally agree. Has a 7.1 star rating on IMDb. 84, Melancholia with Mary Jane Watson, Kirsten Dunst. Never seen it. Directed by Lars von Trier, Kirsten Dunst, Charlotte Gainsbourg, Kiefer's in there, Kiefer Sutherland. I've never seen it, 2011. I'll have to watch it. Heard it's good. 83, Inside Llewellyn Davis, 2013, by Ethan Coen and Joel Coen. Oscar Isaac, I'm sure it's good. Never seen it. I think it won an Academy Award or got nominated, but I'll have to watch it. 82, The Act of Killing, 2012. Never seen it. Directed by Joshua Oppenheimer. 81, Black Swan. I vaguely remember Black Swan. Vaguely. I think it's one of those I started watching and I fell asleep. I don't think I watched the whole thing. I know Natalie Portman's in there, directed by Darren Aronofsky. Mila Kunis was in it. Cutie. But yeah, I don't remember hardly anything about it, so I can't even weigh in on it. But I know a lot of people liked it, so cool. 80, Volver, 2006, with Penelope Cruz. Love Penelope, never seen it. 79, The Tree of Life, Brad Pitt, Sean Penn, Jessica Chastain, directed by Terrence Malick, 2011. Yeah, never seen it. The story of a family in Waco, Texas in 1956. The eldest son witnesses the loss of innocence and struggles with his parents' conflicting teachings. Great cast, good director. I'll have to check it out. Have you guys seen Tree of Life? Let me know. A lot of these I haven't seen, man. Sorry, it's going to be kind of a boring video for you guys. I'll go a little quicker through the ones I haven't seen. 78, 2022, After Sun. Never seen it. 77, Everything Everywhere All at Once, 2022. Fucking hated it. I hated that movie. That movie was such an overrated piece of shit. I know I'm going to break a lot of your hearts on that one, guys, and I'm sorry, but I despise that movie. It was so overrated. The fact that it won any Academy Awards at all is sickening. It's absolutely sickening. No offense to Ke Huy Quan. I think he's a great actor. He's fun. He'll always be short round to me. Jamie Lee Curtis, love and respect her endlessly, especially her early stuff. But yeah, I could not get behind that movie, man. Michelle Yeoh, directed by Daniel Kwan. I fucking hated it. That movie was just a steaming pile of shit. Everything Everywhere All at Once. Wish it never would have been made. And it's so funny because like some of my closest friends really enjoyed it. We're like, you're gonna love it. It's so abstract. It's so out there. I hated it. I think I hated it more because it got so much praise. People were just like worshiping it as it was like, you know, some kind of masterpiece. I can't talk. I'm stumbling on my words. Some kind of groundbreaking masterpiece. But yeah, I despised it. I thought it was really bad. I left the theater just irritated. It just irritated me. So yeah, I would erase that off the list and wouldn't include it on anything ever. Yeah, that movie sucked. I mean, really go back and watch it. Like, if you really like that movie, there's like a girl like flipping dildos around and like crazy fights happening, and it just, I don't know. It didn't need to be made. Anyway, that's how I feel about it. It sucked. 76, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Classic Coen Brothers movie. That was a good one, definitely. That definitely deserves to be on the list. 2000 was when that came out. Joel and Ethan Coen, George Clooney, John Turturro, Tim Blake Nelson. That's a fun one. That is my Uncle Craig's, one of his favorite movies, and I remember watching that with him and my dad when I was younger. And it's a weird one, you know. It's a weird, wacky Coen Brothers adventure, but it's fun. I like it. I'm glad it exists. It's got a 7.7 on IMDb. Everything Everywhere All at Once had a 7.8. But that's neither here nor there because it sucked. But yeah, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Good. Fine with that. 75, Amour, 2012. Michael Haneke, director. Never seen it. The Florida Project, that's one I want to see. It's on my never-ending watch list. I call it my never-ending watch list because it's never going to end. Even 100 years from now, after I'm dead and buried and gone, it's still going to be growing. There's still stuff that I missed or would want to watch. So I was actually thinking about making that into a segment on the channel as my never-ending watch list, where I start to actually get into some of these films that I have on my never-ending watch list and review them, like 3 at a time, 4 at a time maybe. Let me know if you guys want to see that. But yeah, The Florida Project, 2017. It's got my boy Willem Dafoe in it. Brooklyn Prince, Sean Baker directed it. Never seen it, but I've heard really good things about it. A single mother and the manager of a roadside motel do their utmost to maintain the innocence of a 6-year-old girl's life. I'd watch it just for Willem, honestly. But yeah, let me know if you guys saw that one. I heard it's good. Number 73, Ratatouille, 2007. Totally agree. Masterpiece. Just what a beautiful animated film. I haven't seen Ratatouille probably since like 2008, 2009, but I remember really thoroughly enjoying it. Just really well done, a lot of fun. Let me tell you about it, guys. It's this rat who can cook, you know, and he controls this guy. He goes under his hat, and he controls him at this famous Paris restaurant, and it's just a masterpiece. It's a lot of fun. Love Ratatouille, 10 out of 10. 72, Carol, 2015. Kate Blanchett, Rooney Mara, never seen it. Ocean's 11, 2001. Steven Soderbergh, Clooney, Pitt, Julia Roberts, Matt Damon. Hell yeah. That's a 10 out of 10. That's a masterpiece. 2001, the Ocean's 11, the first one with Clooney. Yeah, so freaking good. I like all the Ocean's movies, man. I even enjoyed the 1961 with Dino and Frank Sinatra and Peter Lawford and all those guys. That one was a lot of fun. Sammy Davis Jr., of course. And then, yeah, the Pitt and Clooney ones were badass. Ocean's 12, I think, was the weakest, but even then, it was still a good movie. 13, I loved. I remember when I was younger, I loved Ocean's 13. It was so good. But yeah, that totally deserves to be on the list, for sure. Number 70, Let the Right One In, 2008. Kara Hedebrandt, Lena Leanderson, never seen it. 69, 69. Under the Skin, 2013, Scarlett Johansson. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Yeah, it's got a 6.3 on IMDb. A mysterious young woman seduces lonely men in the evening hours in Scotland. However, events lead to her leading her to begin a process of self-discovery. Yeah, it was a weird, trippy sci-fi movie. Under the Skin was good. I enjoyed that. I don't know if I'd put it in the top 100 for the last 25 years, but it was good. It was a good movie, yeah. Some of these I should probably give a rating, I feel like. I'll start giving ratings. So from Ocean's 11, I'm going to say, since they're doing a 10-star rating, I'm gonna do 10 for Ocean's 11. Under the Skin, I'd give it probably like a 6.5 out of 10. That was good. The Hurt Locker, vaguely remember it, man. I saw it once, right when it came out. I remember it being pretty good. Catherine Bigelow, Jeremy Renner, Anthony Mackie. Don't remember a lot about it, though. I just remember it being kind of intense. That and Jarhead I kind of conflate in my head. Like, I don't remember them all the way through, but I remember liking them. So, yeah, I'm fine with it being on the list. I can't really give it a rating because I don't remember. So, I don't know, 7 out of 10. 67, Tar. Todd Field, Cate Blanchett. Never seen it. 66, Spotlight. Mark Ruffalo, Michael Keaton, Rachel McAdams. I know Emmett really enjoyed that movie, but I never watched it. Love Keaton, love Ruffalo, love Rachel McAdams. Man, I've always had a crush on Rachel McAdams. What a cutie patootie. Especially in True Detective Season 2. Man, she's just badass, you know? But Spotlight, I'll have to watch it. I heard good things. But yeah, I have not watched it. 65, Oppenheimer. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm fine with that being on the list. I'm actually surprised it's not higher on the list because it was such an event, you know? The whole Barbenheimer thing. I mean, went and saw that in IMAX with the family. It was an event, you know? It wasn't the best movie by any means, but I enjoyed it, you know? I'd give it probably like a 6.5 out of 10. Probably a one-time watch, maybe a two-time watch. Kind of slow, kind of boring, but a very well-made movie, you know? And it was an experience to see on the big screen. It was pretty cool. Yeah, Cillian Murphy, great. Emily Blunt, great. Matt Damon, Chris Nolan, everybody just badasses. RDJ. Yeah, it was a good movie. It was a fine film, definitely. 8.3 it has. Yeah, I'm fine with that. But yeah, I'd give it probably like a 6.5. But yeah, I'm good with it. I'm good with it being on the list. 64, Gone Girl. The first time I saw Gone Girl, 2014. Ben Affleck, David Fincher, Rosamund Pike, Neil Patrick Harris. I fucking hated it. I was not into that movie at all. I thought it was overrated. That's a big thing with me, is like kind of the hipster film guy in me is when a lot of people like it, I'm very skeptical. I'm very like, oh, okay. And then you go see it, you're kind of expecting more and you get disappointed. So I did not like Gone Girl when I saw it the first time. I did end up watching it again later on, and it grew on me. I do think it was a well-made film, definitely. I think Fincher did a pretty good job. Ben Affleck gave a pretty good performance. Rosamund Pike was scary in there. Yeah, it was good. It was good. I wouldn't say it was great, but it was good for sure. And I know a lot of people loved it, so I'm okay with it being on this list. But I'd give it probably like, when I walked out of the theater, probably like a 5 out of 10. After watching it again, probably like a 7 out of 10. Yeah, it kind of grew on me. But it's whatever. 63, Little Miss Sunshine. Haven't watched this one in years, but I remember it was a lot of fun. I'd give it probably a 7 out of 10. Yeah, you know, a lot of that was actually filmed here, or some of it was filmed here in Arizona. Steve Carell, Jonathan Dayton is the director, Toni Collette, Greg Kinnear. Yeah, fun movie. Totally fine with that being on there. Memento, that's an 8 out of 10. That's a damn good movie. 2000s when that came out. Chris Nolan, Guy Pearce. Yeah, Memento, man. I kind of wish Chris Nolan would have made more movies like that. Some of his early stuff, The Following, was one of the first movies he ever did, if not the first movie he did. That one was fantastic. And Memento was really good, really weird, really trippy. One that I kind of think of in that same era, too, was The Machinist with Christian Bale that he did before Batman, ironically, with Chris Nolan. I kind of mixed those two up in my head, but Memento was really good. Yeah, 8 out of 10. I enjoyed it. Totally deserving of being on the list, for sure. 61, Kill Bill, Volume 1. Fuck yeah. Kill Bill was fantastic. Both volumes, 1 and 2. That was 2003. Quentin, obviously, Uma Thurman, David Carradine, Daryl Hannah. Yeah, that's a I would say a good 7 out of 10 for me. And yeah, just super unique, man. That movie was super unique. I can't really think of a lot of movies that are like Kill Bill unless you think of like other Tarantino films or old Bruce Lee films like Enter the Dragon, you know? Yeah, totally fine with that making the list. I grew up enjoying the Kill Bill films. Number 60, Whiplash, 2014. Sorry, guys. James, I apologize. Never seen it. Never seen it. I've heard a lot of good things. Miles Teller, great actor. J.K. Simmons, come on. J. Jonah Jameson, supposed to be really good. Directed by Damien Chazelle, if I'm saying that right. Yeah, I heard it's fantastic. Never seen it. Sorry, guys. I'll have to watch it. It's on the watch list. 59, Tony Erdmann. Sandra Hüller, never seen it. 58, Uncut Gems with The Sandman, 2019. Damn, it was already 2019? Yeah, fantastic movie. One of those intense, uncomfortable films. Really showcased Adam Sandler's acting range. Yeah, it was an 8 out of 10. It was good. It was almost too intense, though. It was like kind of like a 1 or 2 time watch where like it makes you uncomfortable watching it. Yeah, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. It was really good, just really intense. The Safdie brothers, man, Benny Safdie. You know what's so funny is I was trying to put 2 and 2 together. I watched Happy Gilmore 2 just yesterday, and it was all right. You know, it could have been better. It was a Netflix movie. You know, the first, I would say, hour was really funny, really enjoyable. The third act was kind of crappy, but overall it was fun. You know, you can see my full review on Instagram. But yeah, Benny Safdie was the main bad guy in there, and I was like, that's weird. What is Benny Safdie doing in an Adam Sandler movie, like playing like a goofy character? And I just put 2 and 2 together right now. He directed Uncut Gems, so they're probably buddies. You know, that's how they knew each other. But yeah, Uncut Gems was a good movie for sure. I think that's worthy of being on the list. Obviously, I think it could have been better, but it was still really well done. It was really well done. Best in Show, 2000. Christopher Guest, Fred Willard, Eugene Levy, Catherine O'Hara. I love Catherine O'Hara. My buddy Max from NOX, that's one of his favorite movies of all time, Best in Show. And it is a fun one, definitely. It's not one of my favorites, but I enjoyed it. We actually reviewed it on the No Expectations Video Store channel. Go check out that review on that channel. But yeah, the movie was fun, just totally irreverent, kind of weird. It kind of reminded me of like Wet Hot American Summer vibes, you know, kind of goofy like that. I'd give it probably a 7 out of 10. Yeah, I don't know if I'd put it on the list of top 100 of the last 25 years, but it was fun. Punch Drunk Love. Freaking love that movie. Speaking of serious Adam Sandler, that's probably his best serious role, in my opinion. Punch Drunk Love. And I don't mean like the sentimental parts that click. I mean actually like a serious role. Punch Drunk Love is fantastic. I would give that a 9 out of 10. It is such a good movie. I might even dare say a 10 out of 10. Punch Drunk Love is a really good movie. I was really surprised. Because I always loved The Sandman as like Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, Big Daddy, wedding singer vibes. And seeing him in Punch Drunk Love was my first time seeing him in like a really serious role. And I loved it. Yeah, 2002, Paul Thomas Anderson, Adam Sandler, Philip Seymour Hoffman. Brilliant. I think he deserved an Academy Award for it. So yeah, that deserves to be on the list for sure. Inception, of course. Inception was so iconic and so groundbreaking. Number 55 on the list, 2010's Inception. Chris Nolan, DiCaprio, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Elliot Page. I think at that time it was Ellen, let's be honest. You're not fooling anybody, Elliot. But yeah, Inception was great, man. That was one of the first movies I saw by myself. If not the first movie I saw by myself, I think was Inception. And I enjoyed it. It was good. I do think it's definitely worthy of all the praise it gets, because, I mean, imagine making a movie like Inception. It's just so big. It's so larger than life. I'd give it, a solid 8 out of 10. I love Inception. But I don't love it as much as some people, because part of me thinks it does drag on a little bit. And don't hate me in the comments, because obviously I admit it's a fantastic film. But I think for a movie about dreams, where anything can happen, it was a little limited. Like, all it was really cool effects of buildings folding in on themselves and trains breaking through cities and stuff. And it was very cool visually, but I think they could have done more with dreams. I think it wasn't fully explored as it should have been. And I kind of wish Inception would have been a movie that got sequels. If there were like 3 or 4 Inception films, maybe with different directors each time, that could have been really cool. You think about that. Imagine like oh man, I'm trying to think who would be crazy. Who's the guy that did 12 Monkeys? Terry Gilliam? Imagine like Terry Gilliam doing like an Inception movie, or like a Tarantino Inception movie, or a Scorsese Inception movie. Could be really good. The closest we got to a Scorsese Inception movie would have been like Shutter Island, kind of trippy with DiCaprio. But yeah, I think that's definitely worthy of being on the list. I would actually put that probably in the top 25 because that was just so groundbreaking for the last 25 years. Yeah, Inception, masterpiece. Like I said, I think they could have done a little more with the dreams, but that's it. 54, Pan's Labyrinth. Absolutely. What a freaking trip. 2006, Guillermo del Toro, Ivana Baquero, Ariadna Gil, Sergi Lopez. Yeah, that movie freaked me out, man. First time I saw it was, I guess, in high school. We watched it in our high school Spanish class, circa 2007. And yeah, it freaked me out. All I remember is like some guy getting his face smashed in with a bottle. And visually it was just really eerie. I imagine watching Pan's Labyrinth, if you were like a little kid, it probably like gave you nightmares, you know? But yeah, that movie was beautiful, totally cool, totally fine with that being on the list. I don't remember much of it, but visually I'd give it at least a 7.5 out of 10 because it was so unique, you know? All right, number 53, Borat, 2006, directed by Larry Charles. Oh, Larry Charles, is he the one that did all the old like Cheers TV shows and stuff? I don't know, I'll have to look it up. Sacha Baron Cohen. Here's the crazy thing though, everybody quotes Borat. I've seen so many clips of Borat, but I've never watched it. I've never seen Borat all the way through. I know, sacrilegious. Larry Charles was born on December 1st, 1956 in Brooklyn, New York City. He's a producer, writer, known for Seinfeld, The Dictator, and Bruno. Interesting. Okay, Larry Charles. I knew I recognized that name, so it must have been from Seinfeld. Yeah. So he was a writer on Seinfeld. I recognize him too. I recognize his face, like he did cameos. He wrote for Mad About You. I tape Mad About You. He wrote for Fridays and Off the Wall. Looks like, let's see, what did he direct? He produced some Seinfeld episodes and some Curb Your Enthusiasm episodes. 40 episodes of Curb. Damn, okay. Interesting. Larry Charles. What did he direct? Let's see, what did he direct? Oh, he directed the Larry David Story, a bunch of episodes of Curb Your Enthusiasm, 19 episodes. He directed The Dictator, Bruno, Borat. Okay, wow. Larry Charles, I knew I recognized that name. For some reason I thought I knew it from the Cheers credits, but Seinfeld, that makes sense. All right, let's get back to the list. My name's a Borat. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I've heard it quoted so many times, but I just never got around to watching it. Crazy, I know. 52, The Favorite, 2018. Never seen it. 51, 12 Years a Slave, 2013. Never seen it. Heard it was good, though. 50, Up, 2009. Watched it once in high school. Didn't really like it. It was a little too emotional for my taste. A little too depressing. It just seemed like a movie that was just trying to make you cry, you know? Like when Pixar kind of had that shift, you know, when you became an adult and you stopped watching Pixar movies as much. I don't know, it just seemed kind of cheap. Like it was just trying to tug at your heartstrings a little too much. Whenever I see anything from Up or any pictures of Up, it kind of irritates me. There's something about Up that I just don't like. Because I felt like it was just like cheaply trying to make people cry, you know? Yeah, and I guess it succeeded, but I don't like it. I'd give it a 4 out of 10. But yeah, I wouldn't have it on the list. I wouldn't have it on the list. And as for the ones I haven't seen, can't say. So I don't know. 49, Before Sunset. Never seen it. I know that's like a trilogy. It's like the Before Sunset, After Sunset, and During Sunset or something like that. 2004, Ethan Hawke, Richard Linklater. Never seen it. 48, The Lives of Others. I actually wrote an essay on this because we had to write one about a foreign film, and my uncle was really into this movie, my Uncle Brian. 2006, 1984, East Berlin. An agent of the secret police conducting surveillance on a writer and his lover finds himself becoming increasingly absorbed by their lives. Actually, it's one of those I actually kind of enjoyed. I don't watch a lot of foreign films. This was by Florian Henkel von Donnersmarck. Stars Ulrich Mew, Martina Gedeck, and Sebastian Koch. But yeah, The Lives of Others, 2006. Yeah, I was in film school at the time. Actually, yeah, no, I was in film school at the time. And this movie came out in 2006, obviously, before I was in college. But I remember writing a paper on it. And yeah, it was for a screenwriting class, and I broke it down and analyzed it, and I remember liking it. I think I kind of embellished some parts just to make the paper sound good. Like I said, I liked it more than I actually did, but I would still give this one probably like a 7 out of 10. It was an enjoyable watch. I absolutely would not put it on the list of top 100 films of the last 25 years, but it was a good watch. You know, it was all right. 47, Almost Famous, the year 2000. Fuck yeah, that is a 10 out of 10. I love that movie. Fantastic soundtrack. Cameron Crowe directed it, starring Billy Crudup, Patrick Fugit, and Kate Hudson. Yeah, fantastic movie, man. First time I saw that, it blew me away. I was like, I love this movie. It was so well done. And it's one I go back to every few years. I think Cameron Crowe just made a masterpiece with that one. If you have not seen Almost Famous, definitely go check it out. I would absolutely put it on this list. I would put it higher on this list. Or I guess I should say lower, because, you know, closer to number 1. I would say it's in the top 20. Yeah, it almost had that, even though it's you know, taking place in the 70s, it kind of had a 90s feel, even though it was released in 2000. But yeah, freaking love that movie. 10 out of 10. Definitely great soundtrack too. 46, Roma, 2018. Never seen it. I know it's one of those they threw a lot of awards at, but never saw it. 45, Moneyball. Shit, did I see Moneyball? No, I saw The Big Short. I never saw Moneyball. I know Emmett enjoyed Moneyball. Brad Pitt, Robin Wright, Jonah Hill, directed by Bennett Miller, 2011. Never watched it. Sorry, I'll have to check it out. I like the cast. Here we go. 2019, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, number 44 on the list. That is a hard 10 out of 10 for me, guys. You probably heard me talk about it on the pod before, but that's one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. Before Once Upon a Time in Hollywood came out, I was okay with Tarantino. I liked Inglourious Bastards. I thought Pulp Fiction was all right. I thought Django was pretty good, but in a lot of ways, I kind of thought he was an overrated director. Although I did enjoy Kill Bill and stuff like that, I liked him, but I didn't love him. He was one of those directors that, especially in film school, a lot of people were just obsessed with. You know, you heard him mentioned every single day. Him and Chris Nolan, people were just infatuated with. And I get it, they're good. But it was to the point where it was like they worshipped them, and it was obnoxious. And so there was always a part of me that kind of thought Tarantino was a little overrated. Then I saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I'm like, wow, that's one of the best movies I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, it's one of my favorite films. It's in my top 20 films for sure. So yeah, that's a hard 10 out of 10 for me, and it really raised my respect for Tarantino, especially because he says now that's the best movie he's ever made, his favorite film he's ever made. DiCaprio, Pitt, Margot, everybody in there, even Kurt Russell. I mean, everybody's so good in that movie. Yeah, that should be in the top 10, I think, of the last 25 years. It is an absolute masterpiece. Can't say enough good things about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I saw it on the big screen like 5 times. I'm not even exaggerating. 5 times on the big screen. I don't think I ever saw any other movie that many times on the big screen. Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man, I saw 3 times on the big screen. But yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, 5 freaking times. Loved it. Number 43, Old Boy, 2003. The Park Chan-wook and Choi Min-sik Yoo Ji-tae movie. After being kidnapped and imprisoned for 15 years, Uy Dee-soo is released only to find that he must track down his captor in 5 days. Solid movie, man. I'd give that like a 7.5 out of 10. Really good. Spoiler alert, he eats an octopus. Yeah, Old Boy was a really good movie. I'd have it on the list for sure. The Master, 2012. Paul Thomas Anderson, Joaquin Phoenix, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Amy Adams. That had to have been one of Philip Seymour Hoffman's last movies. Yeah, 2012. I personally didn't like it. I like Paul Thomas Anderson. I love Joaquin. Amy Adams is one of my favorite actresses. Philip Seymour Hoffman was very, very talented, but I did not like The Master. Maybe I need to go back and watch it with fresh eyes, you know, whatever, 13 years later. But I remember watching it and being very bored, very disappointed. I'd give it probably a 5 out of 10. I was not impressed with it at all. I would definitely not include it on this list. 41, Emily, 2001. Director Jean-Pierre Jeunet, Audrey Tautou. Emmett and I always make fun of this movie. I've never seen it all the way through. I've seen bits and pieces of it, like on the IFC channel and stuff a long time ago. Came out in 2001, but I don't think I ever watched it all the way through. But I know Emmett and I always laugh at it because there's like a big picture of her like looking googly-eyed, eating popcorn in a theater at the Harkins that we go to, and we always make fun of it. But I've never seen it. I feel like it would annoy me, but like I said, bits and pieces, but I can't really judge it, so whatever. I guess it's okay on the list. I don't know. 40, Yi Yi, 2000. Edward Yang, never seen it. 39, Lady Bird, never seen it. 2017, Greta Gerwig. Heard it was good. 38, Portrait of a Lady on Fire, never seen it. Can't talk. 2019, tongue twister. 37, Call Me By Your Name. The summer of 1983, 17-year-old Elio is spending the days with his family at their villa in Lombardy, Italy. He soon meets 24-year-old Oliver, and they bone. Yeah, never seen it. I know what it's about, but never saw it. Timothy Chalamet, Armie Hammer. Looked like a piece of shit. But yeah, never watched it. 36, A Serious Man, 2009. I know Max and Emmett Lefebvre are huge fans of this Coen Brothers film, starring Michael Stuhlbarg and Richard Kind. I think Max is actually working on some kind of video essay on it. I've heard nothing but amazing things about it. I respect the Coen Brothers. I think they're geniuses. But I've never seen it. So we'll have to watch A Serious Man and, yeah, review it. Wow. All right, 35, A Prophet, 2009. Jacques Audiard, never seen it. 34, WALL-E, 2008. Andrew Stanton, Ben Burt, the animated WALL-E film, Pixar. It was good. I think I actually saw it at this theater back in 2008. I'm 90% sure it was at this one. It was all right. Like I said, I was, definitely outgrown, from Pixar films at that time. I thought it was a little long. I think WALL-E was a good movie. It was very well done. I think it's worthy of being on this list because it was kind of the last of its kind of like those like authentic Pixar films. I think before they, started churning them out a little too quickly. Where they felt kind of inauthentic. This one felt authentic. It was good. I'd give it maybe like a 7 out of 10, I would say. But it was a little long. I don't know. It was all right. I do like the part of all the fat people being too lazy in the future. I think that's accurate, 33, A Separation, 2011. Asghar Farhadi. Never seen it, don't care. 32, Bridesmaids. Paul Feig, Kristen Wiig, Maya Rudolph. Yeah, funny movie. I remember watching it with one of my ex-girlfriends, and yeah, it was fun. I'd give it like a 6.5 out of 10. I like Maya Rudolph a lot. I think she's great. Yeah, it was fine. I don't think I'd include it on the top 100 of the last 25 years, but it had some laughs. It's like the female version of like The Hangover. Yeah, it was okay, whatever. 31, The Departed. Now we're talking. 2006, DiCaprio, Scorsese, Matt Damon, Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson. You know what I like about working with Scorsese? He gets to the point. He doesn't beat around the bush, He's a real bang-up guy. But yeah, no, I love The Departed. I think it's one of the best. It's one of Jack's best movies. It's one of Scorsese's best. The first time I watched it, I kind of thought it was a little overrated. And then I went back and watched it again and loved it. And then with every subsequent viewing, I've appreciated it more and more and more. I think The Departed is a masterpiece. I'm going to go a hard 9 out of 10. I almost think with subsequent viewings, I want to say 10 out of 10. Departed was a very, very good film. Yeah, solid film. Totally worthy of being on the list. Number 30, Lost in Translation. Yes, I'm good with that being on the list too. 2003. Sofia Coppola, Bill Murray, Scarlett Johansson. Wow, that was 2003 already, damn. Yeah, I'd give that one like a solid 7 out of 10. Good film. Worthy of being on the list? Barely, I would say. Here we go. 29, Arrival. I agree. That was one of the top 10, I think, for me of the last, definitely the last decade. But I would say for the last 25 years, yeah, Arrival was really, really good. Arrival made me freaking cry, dude. Arrival was like a brilliant film. Denis Villeneuve, I always forget how to say his last name. Amy Adams, Jeremy Renner, Forrest Whitaker. Arrival was a special movie, man. Like, that movie was so powerful. I think I saw that at this theater as well. But yeah, it's about these aliens that come down, and a linguist, Amy Adams, has to try to figure out how to communicate with them. And it was just beautiful. As nations teeter on the verge of a global war, Banks and her crew must find a way to communicate with the extraterrestrial visitors. Yeah, that was a hard 10 out of 10 for me, man. Arrival was great. There was this sweet spot, I would say, from like 2013 to 2016. I would even say like 2012 to 2016. Where we got spoiled with some like really good movies, and like Amy Adams and Jake Gyllenhaal and Jeremy Renner and all those guys were like on fire. They're making such good stuff. Arrival, yeah, absolute masterpiece, deserves to be on this list, even higher. 28, The Dark Knight. Every film school nerd's wet dream, right? Yeah, what can you say about The Dark Knight? I love it. It's a masterpiece. I know, I shit on the film students and all those people and those film nerds that talk about it constantly, because they would talk about it like every freaking day. But I agree, The Dark Knight was fantastic. Like, I had a shirt with Heath Ledger's Joker on it. Like, it's one of the best movies ever made. Definitely. I mean, it kind of, got overplayed a bit for sure, but like, it's so good. Like, Heath Ledger's Joker made that something absolutely iconic. 2008's when that came out. But yeah, I mean, that's a hard 10 out of 10 for me. That is such a good movie. Like I said, even though it got kind of, I don't want to say overhyped, but maybe overanalyzed and overplayed is the word I'm looking for. But I still love that movie. And I actually took a break from watching it. I haven't watched The Dark Knight in probably like at least 8 years, because I wanted to kind of clean my palate. But I think enough time has passed where like I really want to go back and rewatch it, because it was a 10 out of 10. It was a great freaking movie. Heath Ledger, once in a lifetime performance. He's one of those guys that I wish was still around. Like, Heath Ledger, I think, would have continued to do some fantastic things. I think he'd be the level of like Joaquin Phoenix and DiCaprio for sure. Just a brilliant actor, and just a great performance from Bale. Great action. I love Batman rooted in the real world. Harvey Dent was cool with what's his face, Aaron Eckhart. Maggie Gyllenhaal she was no Katie Holmes. Katie Holmes was a lot hotter, a lot more believable, but Maggie did all right. Rachel did all right. But yeah, you can't knock The Dark Knight. It was a 10 out of 10. Absolutely deserves to be on this list. I'm surprised it's not in the top 5, honestly. But yeah, great film. Adaptation, number 27, 2002. Nick Cage, directed by Spike Jonze. Meryl Streep and Chris Cooper. Never watched it all the way through. That's the one where Cage had like the funny hair and looked like really sickly. He's a screenwriter. I definitely saw bits and pieces of it, but I don't remember the whole thing. But I remember it being pretty good, but I can't give it a proper rating because I don't really remember. But I remember enjoying what I saw. Maybe like a 7 out of 10, I don't know. It has a 7.7 rating on here. But yeah, I have to go back and rewatch it. I don't really remember. 26, Anatomy of a Fall. A woman is suspected of murder after her husband's death. Their half-blind son faces a moral dilemma as the main witness. Justin Triet, Sandra Huller, Swan Arlaud. Foreign film, 2023. Never seen it. 25, Phantom Thread. That was a Paul Thomas Anderson movie, Daniel Day-Lewis. Never saw it. I know it was an awards season darling, but never saw it. 24, Her. 2013, Joaquin Phoenix, Spike Jonze, Amy Adams, Scarlett Johansson. Loved it. Thought it was a really good movie. Solid 8 out of 10. It has exactly an 8.0 star rating out of 10 on here. I agree. Yeah, I think it's worthy of being on this list, especially because it came out in 2013. If that came out now, I'd be a little less impressed, with the advancements with AI and ChatGPT and everything, and AI girlfriends and all that. But the fact that that came out in 2013, it was really ahead of the curve. Same with Ex Machina. But I would say Her, yeah, definitely worthy of being on this list, and one I should go back and watch because I haven't watched it in a few years. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. Great movie. 23, Boyhood. One that would definitely make me cry. Just from the trailer, I could tell. The life of Mason from early childhood to his arrival at college. And that's one of those that I think they actually recorded the kid's life. Like, they actually took like 15 years to like make this film. Richard Linklater, Eller Coltrane, Patricia Arquette, Ethan Hawke. Never watched it. Don't think I could handle it without weeping like a baby. But yeah, good for them. If they spent that much time making the movie, totally worthy of being on the list. 22, The Grand Budapest Hotel. One of the last movies, if not the last movie I saw at Camel View Harkins, which is a theater that was demolished in Scottsdale, Arizona. If you guys are local, you'll know what I'm talking about. If not, you won't care. But yeah, Camel View Theater in Scottsdale. I saw that there with one of my ex-girlfriends, and it was good. I do think now I kind of have a love-hate relationship with Wes Anderson, mostly hate, because I think he's way too into his style, and I think he's a lot of style over substance, and all he cares about is how the film looks, and it's like this bullshit quirky vibe that he has that I just don't believe. I don't buy into it. So Wes Anderson now annoys the hell out of me. But that movie was actually enjoyable at the time. You know, I hadn't watched a lot of his stuff at that time. I'd seen like Bottle Rocket and The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, and what else? Oh, Darjeeling Limited, I think, is one of his best films. But yeah, Grand Budapest, I enjoyed. I'd give it like a 7.5 out of 10, I would say. And at that time, I wasn't sick of Wes Anderson yet, so yeah, it was good. It was good. I definitely would not put it in the top 100, but it was a good movie. Excuse me. The Royal Tenenbaums. There's another Wes Anderson movie. That was one of his good ones. I'd give that one a 7 out of 10 as well. Ben Stiller, Owen Wilson. You had Gene Hackman in there, R.I.P. Gwyneth Paltrow, Angelica Houston. That was 2001. Wow. That was a 9/11 year film. Ben Stiller had a big year with Zoolander and Royal Tenenbaums that year. You know, Zoolander came out like the week of 9/11. Isn't that crazy? Crazy stuff. The fact that it still succeeded is wild. Maybe people needed laughs more than ever at that time, you know? Sound like a cat fight over there. What the hell was that? Crazy. So yeah, Royal Tenenbaums, decent film, definitely. Would I put it on the list of the top 100 of the last 25 years? Probably not, but it was a good movie. It was a good movie. Number 20, The Wolf of Wall Street. 100%. That's a hard 9 out of 10 from me. Martin Scorsese, DiCaprio, Jonah Hill, Margot Robbie. Brilliant film, dude. I really enjoy that movie. I think that movie's so impressive, too, because it was so out of left field. Like, you weren't expecting Martin Scorsese to come out with, like, one of the raunchiest 3-hour movies of 2013, you know? It felt like something from a much younger director. And I think in a lot of ways it's not that Martin Scorsese ever wasn't relevant, but it made him more relevant than ever. Like I said, it felt like something from a much younger, more energetic director. And it just goes to show why Scorsese's one of the best. Truly one of the best directors of all time, one of my favorites. Hell, I might even give that a 10 out of 10. I don't know, The Wolf of Wall Street's pretty damn good. It's pretty long, though. Let's say 9.5 out of 10. But it's a damn good film. I enjoy it. 2013. Number 19, Zodiac, 2007. David Fincher, Jake Gyllenhaal, RDJ, Mark Ruffalo. You got all the Avengers in there, man. You got Mysterio and Iron Man and Doctor Doom and the Hulk all in a movie together. Zodiac, if you haven't seen it, watch it. That's a 10 out of 10 for me. That is a brilliant freaking movie. It's got a 7.7 rating on here. Wolf of Wall Street had an 8.2. But yeah, Zodiac. Between 1968 and 1983, a San Francisco cartoonist becomes an amateur detective obsessed with tracking down the Zodiac Killer, an unidentified individual who terrorizes Northern California with a killing spree. David Fincher, yeah, bro, 10 out of 10. Masterful movie, just so good. Totally worthy of being on that list. I'd put that probably in the top 10. Y Tu Mama Tambien, 2001. Alfonso Cuarón, Maribel Verdú. Actually, I've seen this. Movie, and it was pretty good. It was very sexy. You get a lot of Spanish boobs in there, definitely. In Mexico, Mexican boobs. 2 teenage boys and an older woman embark on a road trip and learn a thing or two about life and each other. Spoiler alert, they both sleep with her. But yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I saw that a long time ago. Man, I saw that like when I was probably like 18 or 19. But yeah, it was all right. I wouldn't put it on the list of top 100 movies of the last 25 years, but I give it probably a 7 out of 10, maybe a 7.5 for the spicy mamacitas. But yeah, it was all right. Number 17, Brokeback Mountain, one of our favorites. 2005, Ang Lee, Jake Gyllenhaal, Heath Ledger, Michelle Williams. Gotta say, never seen it. I know it's a lot of steamy, hot, gay cowboy sex, but yeah, not really my thing. But I respect it, you know. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But yeah, never watched Brokeback Mountain, so I don't know. I know it won a bunch of Academy Awards, and I know it was like really a risky role for Gyllenhaal and Heath Ledger, and really put those guys on the map. But yeah, have not seen Brokeback Mountain. But yeah, I know it was really a big deal when it came out, definitely. So yeah, I guess it's good being on the list. There's a comedian, Steve Byrne, that has a great Brokeback Mountain joke. He said they're making a remake of Brokeback Mountain with Margot Robbie and Sydney Sweeney. And on one hand, I hate them remaking classics. On the other hand, lotion. Because he's going to be jerking off, too. Anyway, that was a joke. But yeah, Brokeback Mountain. All right. Number 16, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, 2000, directed by Ang Lee, starring Chow Yun-fat, Michelle Yeoh. Never seen it. Heard good things. Never seen it. City of God, 2002. Never seen it. Number 14, Inglourious Bastards, 2009. Masterpiece, dude. That's a hard 9 out of 10 from me. Tarantino, Brad Pitt, Diane Kruger, Eli Roth. What's his name? The guy, the bad guy. His name's escaping me. Let's click it. Let's see. Christoph Waltz. It came to me. Christoph Waltz. Yeah, Inglourious Bastards. What a great freaking movie. Definitely in my top 3 Tarantino films for sure. Not one I watch all the time, but it's like one I'll go back to like every like 4 or 5 years. But yeah, really good. All right, let's get back to the list. Lost my spot. Okay. Number 13, Children of Men, 2006. Julianne Moore, Clive Owen, Alfonso Cuarón. Never seen it. I know. Sorry. The Zone of Interest, 2023. Never seen it. All right, number 11, Mad Max Fury Road, 2015. In a post-apocalyptic wasteland, a woman rebels against a tyrannical ruler in search for her homeland with the aid of a group of female prisoners, a psychotic worshiper, and a drifter named Max. George Miller, Tom Hardy, Charlize Theron, Nicholas Hoult. Solid movie, man, definitely. A lot of people put this as like one of the top 10, or in this case, top 11. I disagree. I think it was a good movie. I think it was badass. It was a lot of fun to see on the big screen. I'd give it probably like a 7 out of 10. It had amazing effects, definitely, but I think in some ways a little overrated. I'm sorry. I'll say it's good. I like the Mad Max films, but I wouldn't put it as number 11 of the last 25 years. But it was good. You know, it's fun. It's a fun, like, movie to watch when you're eating pizza, and, you know, it's got some action, you know? It's all right. It's all right. Number 10, The Social Network, 2010. Jesse Eisenberg, David Fincher. I'm going to blow your guys' mind right now. Never seen it. Number 9, Spirited Away. I think Emmett let me borrow this movie like 10 years ago, and I still have yet to return it to him. I'll get that movie back to you one of these days, buddy. Never seen it. Spirited Away. Davy Chase, Hayao Miyazaki, the director. Those Studio Ghibli movies, or is it Studio Ghibli? I guess they're a really big deal. I know a lot of people love them. I just haven't seen any of them, so I can't really weigh in. The animation looks beautiful. I definitely would like to check it out, but I have not seen it, so it's on the list. Number 8, Get Out, 2017. Jordan Peele. Never seen it. I know. Yeah, I've heard good things. I know my buddy Alan said it was fantastic. But yeah, a young African-American man visits his white girlfriend's parents for the weekend, where his simmering uneasiness about the reception of him eventually reaches a boiling point. Shocker. Yeah, I don't know. Jordan Peele, I feel like everything's way too driven by race with his stuff. I liked Key and Peele. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought Nope was a decent film. But in a lot of ways, I feel Jordan Peele is kind of overhyped, you know? The stuff that I've seen from him, like I said, just seems kind of mid. So yeah, I don't know. I definitely will have to watch Get Out because I've heard so many good things from people that I trust their opinion about movies. I heard it's really good. I like Bradley Whitford. I think he's a very talented actor. But I don't know. Jordan Peele, when it comes to his serious stuff, it just kind of turns me off a little bit. I think he's overhyped. But I'll check it out. Number 7, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. We got some serious Jim Carrey on here, 2004. Jim Carrey, Kate Winslet, Tom Wilkinson, directed by Michael Gondry. Is it Michelle or Michael? M-I-C-H-E-L. Michel Gondry. Yeah, when their relationship turns sour, a couple undergoes a medical procedure to have each other erased from their memories forever. Really good movie. I don't think I'd put it in the top 10 of the last 25 years, but it was a solid one. I'd give it a good 7 out of 10. It was very intense, very good. Love Jim Carrey. Number 6, I think this should probably be number 1, but No Country for Old Men, 2007. Violence and mayhem ensue after a hunter stumbles upon the aftermath of a drug deal gone wrong and over $2 million in cash near the Rio Grande. Joel and Ethan Coen, starring Tommy Lee Jones, Javier Bardem, and Josh Brolin. Just a 10 out of 10. One of the best films ever made. I could literally do a whole video just about No Country for Old Men and how good it is, how well written it is, how well acted it is. Cormac McCarthy was the author of the novel. The Coen bros just did a bang-up job, just a fantastic job on the script. And like, I can't say enough good things about it, man. If you've never seen No Country for Old Men, do yourself a favor and check it out. It's a freaking masterpiece. It's one of the best films of all time. And another one, too, when it came out, I saw it in 2007, or maybe it was right when it had come on video. It might have been like 2008, but right around there. And I didn't get it. I thought it was kind of cool, you know, but I was very underwhelmed. I didn't like the ending, and I was just kind of dismissed it. I was like, yeah, it's whatever. Like, to me, it was like a 3 out of 5. I was like, yeah, whatever, move along. Then I watched it again a few years later, maybe like 5 or 6 years after that, and I was just blown away. I was like, holy shit, I was wrong about this movie. And I remember watching it with my dad, and he was like absolutely blown away by it. And it's one of those I go back to every year or two, and I love it now. I think No Country for Old Men is one of the best modern or more modern Westerns ever made, definitely. I wouldn't be mad if that was number 1 on the list, because that's so good. Number 5, Moonlight, 2016. A young African-American man grapples with his identity and sexuality while experiencing the everyday struggles of childhood, adolescence, and adulthood. Director Barry Jenkins, Mahershala Ali. Seems like one of those that was like the golden child of freaking the Academy Awards. They were just throwing awards at it left and right. Never saw it, but it seemed overhyped to me. But I definitely wouldn't put it as number 5. But I haven't seen it, so who knows? It could be amazing. But I highly doubt that his sexuality struggles were as interesting as Llewellyn Moss trying to get away from a cartel hitman. So yeah, forget it. Number 4, In the Mood for Love, 2000. Anything after No Country for Old Men is just an insult. It's a slap in the face. Wong Kar-wai, who cares? Yeah, some foreign film. Number 3, There Will Be Blood, 2007. It was all right. I'd give it like a 7 out of 10. Now, keep in mind, I haven't watched that movie in like 15 years. But Paul Thomas Anderson, Daniel Day-Lewis, Paul Dano, a story of a family, religion, hatred, oil, lots of oil and madness, focusing on a turn-of-the-century prospector in the early days of the business. Yeah, it was good, but I don't know. Another one that I think was kind of overhyped a little bit. But maybe I need to rewatch it with fresh adult eyes. Excuse me. Number 2, Mulholland Drive. Mulholland Drive, 2001. David Lynch, Naomi Watts, Justin Theroux. Never seen it. Never seen it. Is it any good? Let me know. Number 1. Oh boy, here we go. Parasite, 2019. Bong Joon-ho, Song Kang-ho. Greed and class discrimination threaten the newly formed symbiotic relationship between the wealthy Park family and the destitute Kim clan. I watched Parasite. A girl I was seeing at the time was like obsessed with it. She was very hipster. She's like, you gotta see Parasite. It's so good. She's like, I'll watch it again. You gotta see it. So we watched it, and I liked it. It was a good movie. I'd give it maybe like a 6.5 out of 10. But it was way overhyped. It's way overrated. The fact that it's number 1 on the list of the top 100 movies of the last 25 years is insulting. It was not that good. It makes me hate it a little bit. It was a fine film, but it wasn't worthy of like Best Picture or all these Academy Awards. It was way overhyped. It was way overhyped. A good film, a fine film. I'm not shitting on the film, but I'm shitting on its amount of accolades that it got. I do think it was way overrated. I have a sneaking suspicion, too, that was the year when there was like the Stop Asian Hate thing going on, which, you know, was valid. But I think almost like because of that, the Academy was like, oh, let's give all the awards to the foreign Korean film. I don't know. I didn't buy into it that it was really like that much of a darling for the Academy Awards. Like I said, it was a fine film, you know. I may watch it again someday, but I think it was overrated for sure. And the fact that it's number 1 on this list makes me think that this was a New York Times list by some 23-year-old former film student who hasn't seen a lot of good movies. But I will say, the ones I will agree with on here would be just scrolling through, like the ones that I think are worthy of being on the top 100 list that I've seen. No Country for Old Men. I'll give them Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Inglourious Bastards. Zodiac. Wolf of Wall Street. Let's go. I haven't seen Boyhood, but the fact that they spent like 15 years on it, props to them. Her, for sure. The Dark Knight. Arrival. Lost in Translation. The Departed. We'll throw in A Serious Man, because my boys love that movie, even though I haven't seen it. Let's go Old Boy, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I can't talk. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Almost Famous. I would say, we'll throw Borat in. I mean, because it was like a cultural phenomenon, right? Pan's Labyrinth, I can agree with. Inception, I can agree with. Punch Drunk Love, I can agree with. Uncut Gems, I can agree with. Kill Bill, I can agree with. Memento, Little Miss Sunshine, Oppenheimer, Ocean's 11, Ratatouille, for sure. Ratatouille. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Everything Everywhere All at Once. Fuck that piece of shit. Let's see. Anchorman, for sure. For sure. The Lord of the Rings, absolutely. Fellowship of the Ring. I'm surprised all the Lord of the Rings movies weren't on there. Interstellar, haven't seen it, but I know it was iconic. Gladiator, for sure. Minority Report, for sure. Gravity, we'll let it slide. And Superbad, those are the ones I'd agree with on the list. The other half, a lot of them I haven't seen, honestly. Ones that I just really noticed right off the bat are missing. Spider-Man, 2002. If you're going to include Anchorman on there and Superbad, it's not that serious of a list. We'd put Spider-Man on there. I'd say Spider-Man 1 and 2 with Tobey absolutely deserve to be on that list. For me, right off the top of my head, I'm going to say Collateral. Tom Cruise, Jamie Foxx, Michael Mann. One of the best films of all time. I would absolutely put Collateral on there. A lot of the Jake Gyllenhaal stuff I think was missing from there. Nightcrawler I think should have been on there. Nocturnal Animals I think should have been on there with he and Amy Adams. That was a freaking masterpiece. All right, so I pulled up some other movies from 2000 to 2025. And I'm just going to go through. These are ones that I think should have been on the list too, for sure. Just scrolling through randomly, aside from the ones I already mentioned. I would definitely put Batman Begins on there for sure. American Psycho. Bale did a lot of good stuff. Another one I really enjoyed with him was Out of the Furnace. I would have put Out of the Furnace in there. Another good one would have been, I enjoyed Public Enemies with Johnny Depp and Christian Bale. Let's think. Gone in 60 Seconds, that was a damn good one. The Grinch, come on, The Grinch. Let's see. Oh, X-Men, X1 and X2, absolutely worthy of being on the list. Donnie Darko, I'm shocked that wasn't on the list. I feel like a film student would have put that on there for sure. Also, you got to think Star Wars. There was no Attack of the Clones or Revenge of the Sith. You think Revenge of the Sith at least would have been on there. Come on, that's crazy. Shrek, come on, bro. Wall-E got on there, but Shrek didn't get on there? What the fuck? All the Lord of the Rings films, definitely. What else do we got? Training Day. That should have been on there. Come on. Oh, another one, too. Freaking Tom Cruise. I would say any of the Mission Impossibles, right? Because the only one that was from the 90s was the first one. So I would say, like, Mission Impossible 3 for sure. Mission Impossible 4 for sure at least should have been on there. Catch Me If You Can. Bro, so many good movies. Ice Age, Insomnia. Oh, Insomnia was a damn good one. Pacino, Christopher Nolan. I think Insomnia was, like, in many ways better than Inception. Hot take, I know. Al Pacino, Robin Williams, Hilary Swank. Oh, man, so many good ones. Jeez. Signs. That was a good one. I wouldn't be mad if that was on the list. Spider-Man, it made this list. Hell yeah. Oh, all the Bourne Identity movies. Oh, I didn't even think. All the Bond movies. All the Daniel Craig Bond movies. I think Skyfall was probably my favorite from the newer Bond movies. That would have been on the list. Let's see. Personally, I would have put like Bruce Almighty. I think a little more Jim Carrey love would have been nice. Because like I said, they put Anchorman on that list, so like it wasn't totally serious. They put Superbad on there. What else we got? Holes. Stanley Yelnats. I don't know if I'd put it in the top 100, but it was a fun movie. What else do we got? Let's see. Oh, bro. Pirates of the Caribbean. I would have put Curse of the Black Pearl in there. That was so freaking good. Rocky Balboa. I would have put Rocky Balboa. I think that would have been great. Okay, Collateral made this list. This is just like an independent list here on IMDb. But yeah, Collateral would be like in my top 3 of the last 25 years. All right, let's do a couple more. Oh, the Harry Potter movies. At least the first 2. I think those should have made the list. National Treasure. All right. Let's do a couple more. I'll do 3 more. I know the video's getting kind of long. All right. I'm going to be a little selective here. Just as I see them. I will say The Descent. That was a damn good movie. I don't know if I'd put it in the top 100, but You want a good horror movie? 2005's The Descent. That actually like freaked me out. That was a good one. The Island, that was another good film. Okay, yeah, War of the Worlds, Tom Cruise. I think I said that already, but that would absolutely make my list. That movie was so impressive. 2005. Absolutely, that would be on my top 100 for sure. Casino Royale, James Bond. I already said Skyfall, though. I think I'd pick Skyfall over Casino Royale. Let's do a couple more. Boy, there were so many good. We were really spoiled. From like 2000 up until like 2015, we were just like really spoiled. Oh, here we go. 310 to Yuma, 2007. James Mangold, Russell Crowe, Christian Bale, Ben Foster. For sure. That would be on my list. Oh, Hell or High Water. Hell or High Water. Speaking of Ben Foster, Chris Pine. That was a, what's his name? The guy that did Sicario. That was one of his films. I would definitely put that there. That would make my top 100. Let's do one more. I know there's a bunch I'm leaving off, but there's so many good ones. I'm going to say Zoolander. I'm going to put Zoolander on the list. But like I said, if I spent more time on this, we could probably add another 100 movies. We could do a top 200 list. But yeah, going through the New York Times list, like I said, I'd only seen about half of those. I disagree with a lot of their choices. I think some of them were pretty stupid, but I agree with a couple of them. But if you guys like this long-form rant, you like seeing me sit in front of a theater ranting about movies, I could definitely put together a solid list of movies that I think are actually worthy of being in the top 100 in the future. But for now, guys, remain unfazed. Thank you for watching. Drop your movie recommendations down below. And definitely feel free to check out the Patreon. We're getting that going again. And if you guys want a shirt, we also got a link down to the Redbubble store down below. Get yourself an Unfazed shirt. Rep the channel. And yeah, appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching.